Nori came into my life at a time when I desperately needed light. In the middle of an unhappy marriage, she was my joy, my steady heartbeat, the one soul who always made me feel seen. From the moment she was a tiny puppy, she had this undeniable presence, strong-willed, incredibly intelligent, and deeply, deeply loyal. She wasn't just a pet. She was my best friend, my little girl, my constant companion. Despite her small size, Nori had a heart of a lion, brave, independent, and unshakably stoic. She carried herself with a quiet confidence that made her unforgettable. She had a deep love for adventure, climbing rocks, chasing chipmunks and lizards, and running free at the ranch. But she also had a contemplative soul. One of her favorite things was simply sitting and looking at a view, watching the world with an intelligence and a curiosity that always amazed me. But it wasn't just that she loved the world, she helped me love it again too. Being with her made me want to go out and see more, to chase sunrises, climb higher hills, follow new paths, not because I needed the adventure, but because she did. Seeing the world through her eyes reminded me of how beautiful it could be. The way her ears perked at every bird call and how her tail wagged at the smell of pine or the sparkle of the lake water. It was like she lived in a state of wonder, and being around her brought me into that state too. She had this way of making every day feel special. And as soon as I opened my eyes in the morning, she'd be bouncing up and down with pure joy, so excited to start the day. Her enthusiasm was contagious. It reminded me to be present, to find joy in simple things. Even a walk to the park felt like an adventure when I was with her. She was my adventure buddy, and life was brighter because I got to share it with her. And we talked. Oh, how we talked. I spoke to her constantly like she was a person, and honestly, it felt like she understood every word. Sometimes I'd forget she was a dog at all. Her intelligence, her expressions, her attentiveness, it made our bond feel deeply human. Nori wasn't the kind of dog who gave her love easily. You had to earn her trust. But once she chose you, she loved you with her whole heart. She only truly loved two people, my mother and I, and that love was fierce, protective, and unwavering. The ranch was her heaven. She lived for those drives up the mountain, tail wagging, excitement bubbling over because she knew what was waiting. Freedom, open land, the cool water of the lakes, the wind against her face on the balcony where she could survey it all. She was never just running. She was embracing life with every fiber of her being. Her loyalty was something rare, something sacred. She would wait for me, even refusing to eat or drink until I returned, as if her world simply paused in my absence. I'll never forget the day we came home to find her standing in the pouring rain, waiting at the gate not because she had to, but because she loved us that deeply. Losing her vision was cruel, especially for a dog like Nori, so independent, so full of life, so in love with the world. It was devastating. The glaucoma had become incredibly painful. The pressure in her eyes was no longer manageable. And the only way to relieve that pain was through a surgery to remove both of her eyes. But her kidneys were already weakened, and recently she had developed problems with her hips. She was starting to struggle with the things that used to bring her joy, climbing, running, even walking without discomfort. We were faced with a terrible decision, one that broke my heart. We could go through with the surgery, but it would mean putting her fragile body through a difficult in painful recovery, only to return to her life where she could no longer see the world she loved, no longer run up the mountain at the ranch or sit on the balcony, taking in the view. It didn't feel fair to ask her to survive just to suffer. She had spent her entire being strong for me, loyal, brave, and tough through every challenge. And I couldn't ask her to endure more pain just to stay in a life that no longer felt like hers. So I chose to give her peace. The last gift I could give her was freedom from pain and the dignity to leave this world with the same strength and quiet grace she carried every day of her life. Nori was more than a dog. She was courage, loyalty, and love in its purest form. She was my shadow, my protector, the best part of my days. My heart aches knowing I won't see her waiting at the door or sitting beside me, quietly taking in the world as only she could. But I believe, I have to believe, that one day, when my time comes, I will see her again. I will hear the sound of her paws running toward me, and I will finally be home. Until then, my strong, beautiful girl, run free. I love you forever.